welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and you have made it to a bookish space. Evidently. I hope you stay, I hope you have a good time. In today's video, fashionably late, we're going to be talking about the books that I read in May, because if I don't talk about them now, we never will. So let's just jump on straight into it. I had a really great reading month and my quality of books was outstanding, to say the least. We're going to jump right in. Let's just do it. The first book that I read was Peter James' One of Us is Dead. I had such a great time with this. This book is a detective thriller mystery sort of read, and we have three men. Two of them are dead, and the one that's left alive thinks that he sees one of the dead guys at a funeral and he starts going nuts. In conjunction with that, we also have our main detective, Grace, trying to get his teeth into some suspicious deaths and possible murders, and of course they eventually link up, and it's fun. It's a really good time. I listened to the audiobook of this on BookBeat and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was extremely British and yeah, it just felt fun, even though some of the themes are quite dark. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Sorry, I rated this 4.25 stars, so we started off strong. I then read Out of the Woods by Bonam-Young and I loved this. This was 5 stars for me. I tabbed it. I don't know if you can see. I actually love this book and just looking at these tabs makes me so happy. The reason why it was 5 stars for me is because our female main character, Sarah, her inner monologue was literally like Bonam-Young had gotten into my brain and just written it all in this book, everything that she could find. That's what she did. I absolutely loved it. We follow Sarah and Caleb in this book, who have been married for, I believe, around 15 years, and they sort of cameo in Out on a Limb by Bonam-Young, and this is their story. We are getting to sort of understand them as people, and not issues within their marriage, but some internal issues specifically that Sarah is having, and they go on like a wellness couples retreat, and I just thought it was such a fun time. But I just really enjoyed getting to look into a long-term relationship, and yeah, it was 5 stars because I'm Sarah, Sarah is me, I am Sarah, and we are one. You have seen me talk about this book already, but I read Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and this was extremely fun. This was something that I consumed probably like 60-70% on audio, and it felt crucial for the reading experience because in this book we follow a woman in a small town that is believed to have murdered her best friend, but she was never convicted. The story of this murder is picked up by a true crime podcaster, and he visits the town, she goes back there, and it's all about sort of unveiling what happened to her best friend and whether she did murder her or whether she didn't. The actual podcast element of the book, specifically in the audiobook, is just such a good time. I would absolutely recommend, if you're going to read this, definitely listen to the audiobook. I rated this 4 stars. Another great time. My next book I picked up on a whim because I wanted to I wanted to read something on my Kindle, and I picked up the book of Azrael. And you're asking, Hannah, if you have the physical copy, why did you read it on your Kindle? I didn't, but I loved it so much that I ordered the books. Yep, 5 stars. Love this book. Love this book too. This chunky girl, I love her. Anyway, back to the book of Azrael. I am obsessed with the morally grey characters in this story. I think it is so just sort of like high, epic, wild, toxic fantasy, and I just feel like I needed something like this. So if you're wondering what the book of Azrael is about, let me try my best to summarise. We have our main character, Diana, and she is the sort of person who will do anything for her sister. And hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, she kind of made a deal with the devil, that sort of situation. And in this book, the devil's called Caden, and she essentially works as his killing machine. And it's a little bit chaotic. And whatever Caden's got going on, he wants to find this artifact, the Book of Azrael, and he sends Diana off to do her best to make it happen, and in doing so, she runs across a god. And that's where we have the gods in this book, and then the monsters is Diana. Diana is a monster. That's sort of like the bare minimum, the bare bones of this book, and I absolutely loved it. It is chaotic, it is crazy. The ending, I don't even know if I saw it coming, but it just, yeah, fucked me up. I loved it. And then with The Throne of Broken Gods, which is so chunky, by the way, it is humongous. With this book, I found that my favourite part of it was that the morally grey just stretches even further. Like, you're literally unsure of why you're reading about these characters. Why do you care about them? Why do you want the best for them when some of them are absolutely awful people? It is just crazy. And we have in this book the introduction of an ACOTAR style found family. We have side characters that we begin to love and root for, and yeah, the found family that gets built in this is just stunning. I love this book. I can't even tell you everything that I love about it because there's too many spoilers, but this was obviously also a 5-star, and I can't wait to read the third book, but I'm putting it off because the fourth book releases in October, and I only found out the other day after reading these like a month ago that there's going to be 7 books. I can't deal with all this waiting. I just need it all now. The last physical book that I read, which I'm so proud of myself, by the way, I've read 6 books here that were on my physical TBR. Go me. I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and this was also a 5-star read. I just had the best reading month. And this was so, so great. When I tell you that I was literally howling laughing in my car at some of the scenes in this book, drunk mums, you know where it's at. And then 2 pages later, I was sobbing because it's so deeply emotional. And I would say this book, you should definitely read some trigger warnings if you have any sort of like toxic or traumatic family history, because it has some very deep themes, but I rooted for the romance. I loved it. And also the sort of like toxicity in the families was just, yeah, it was crazy. I absolutely loved this, and it made me sob. It made me laugh, and I just loved it. That's all I have to say. I loved it. Go read it. On to my e-reads, shall we say. I read House of Hollow. I actually wouldn't recommend this book. I actually forgot that I read it. I did a little TikTok wrap up and forgot that I read this book. It's a little bit of an odd one. So we have 3 sisters, I think. Yeah, we have 3 sisters. When they were younger, they were abducted or went missing. They went missing for however long, and when they came back, they didn't remember a single thing about the time that they spent away, and it was just this whole mystery. They just showed up to all back together one day in the place where they went missing, and yeah, it's just sort of about them as characters and sort of like getting to know them, but also trying to get to understand what happened to them when they were younger. It has this really interesting sort of premise, and it's a little bit spooky and gothic, but truthfully, it just wasn't that good. I think I rated it a 2.5. So not a book that I would recommend, but I'm sure there are people out there that probably love it. It just wasn't for me. And on to my final read of May, which I actually read within like the first week of May, but here we are, we're talking about it last. I read an e-copy, an e-arc, should I say, of Vain and Vow by Nicole Jacqueline. And when I first started reading this book, I was like, what in the smutting hell am I reading? So in Vain and Vow, we jump straight in with a guy and a girl that are fated mates. So within this universe, the humans know that vampires exist. For whatever reason, our female main character happens to be the mate of some absolutely crazy vampire, and it is just a little bit crazy because within like the first 10 pages they are having the spiciest mental sex that I think I've ever read, and it was just wild to be reading that when I just opened the book. Like, what do you mean I'm not getting character development and they're just spicing it up straight away? That was a little bit crazy, and it was hard to read at first because I am not a spicy girl. Like, I do not like to read more than 1 or 2 spy scenes in a book, and this book has them in the dozens. That was a little bit of a rough start, but after we get through this fated mate situation, which is constant throughout the whole book, but it does sort of simmer and they start to build a relationship, you then have this sort of like side plot of mystery as the vampire's brother has gone missing. Has he gone missing or has he died? I'm not sure. I can't remember. But either way, there is sort of like this mystery that surrounds that. And the family, this sort of like found family of vampires, are going to try to figure out what has happened. And things get a bit crazy and a bit wild. And I actually ended up really enjoying it. And I was sort of like itching to be reading the next book. Like, I can't wait to continue the story. And At the time I rated it a 3.5. I think it's somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4-star, but it couldn't be more than that because the amount of spice, it wasn't for me. But I really enjoyed everything else about the book. I found it super easy to read and get through, and I'm really excited about continuing the series. So even that I would recommend, even though it was one of my lowest rated books of the month. So there we have a little wrap up of my outstanding May reading month. I can't believe I found a new 5-star series. That's what I want. I love fantasy so much that I'm just itching to find the best of the best out there. And yeah, the Throne of Broken Gods and the Book of Azrael, the Gods and Monsters series in general, it just has my heart. I'm obsessed with it. And if you've been thinking about reading the series, please go do it. It's so good. And 2 5-star romances. Like, what the hell is that about? I do not regularly give out 5 stars for romance books, but absolutely loved Just for the Summer and Out of the Woods. And then 2 absolutely solid thrillers as well. I'm so happy that I had a good reading month in May because my April reads were just trash, to be honest. As always, thank you so much for watching, and that was a little bit of a rapid fire vid. I hope that you had a great time, and if you did enjoy this, please give it a like. Please think about subscribing so that you can see every time I upload. I'm creating lots of reading vlogs at the minute, so if you want to see me reading some of these books, I've already done that on my channel. Maybe you should go check them out. Please let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books, or if, based on the books I've read this month and enjoyed, do you have any recommendations for me? I would be honoured to chat to you guys in the comments. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.